the free webinar, Advanced SEO Strategies. My name is Michelle Ann Sherritt, and I am bringing you this webinar from a company called Situated Research. Today what we're going to cover, we are going to go over a little bit of the basics of SEO. We actually had an SEO 101 Getting Down to Basics class last week on Thursday and Friday, and so that session is available on our website on the Watch Recordings page of our website for the webinars. But we are going to go through just a little bit of the basics. We are going to go through keywords, titles, page descriptions, which we did go into just a little bit last week. This week, we're going to actually get into more details. We're going to talk more about sitemaps, site security, and much more. And at the very end, we will have a Q&A session. So what I told you at the beginning on the first slide is that you want to make sure that you have a pad of paper and pencil or pen. Take good notes. This webinar will be recorded and available for you folks over the weekend on our website. But you want to make sure that you take good notes because the slides we are not sharing because it is copywritten. It's copyright infringement if we share those with you. So definitely the recording's available though. And if you know anyone who's going to benefit from this webinar, who you think might benefit or need some assistance with SEO, have them sign up for tomorrow's session. Tomorrow's session, same time, and tomorrow's date is April 15th, so they can sign up on our website. So as we go through the webinar, type your questions in your upper right-hand corner in your questions box, and then when we get to the Q&A session, we'll go ahead and answer those questions in the order in which we receive those. Sometimes we have tons of questions, and sometimes we don't have any. So it just really depends on the audience, but since today is such a huge audience, I believe we're going to have tons of questions, which is going to be good. So you're going to have a ton of questions from me, but right now I have some questions for you that I want you just to think about. How many of you are not sure what SEO is? Okay, what does SEO stand for? How many of you consider yourself pretty good at SEO? And how many of you do not feel your site is optimized very well for the search engines? These three questions are the audience that we have today. They have these questions, or they are these people. So we want to make sure that we address each and every one of you, because some people today didn't attend the SEO 101 session last week, and so you're new to SEO. So I really would tell you right now, you can watch today's webinar and attend. However, some things might be over your head at this point just because we went over it last week. If you think that you're good at SEO, but you need some tweaking or you want to know new practices, then you're at the right place. And if you're not sure if your website's optimized for search engines or not, you're definitely in the right place. Let me first introduce myself. Again, my name is Michelle Ann Sherritt. I have over 16 years of experience in business as well as social media. I have over 10 years of internet marketing experience. I speak all over the world at conferences, at talks, forums. I currently am publishing, so I will have a social media book coming out at the end of this year. Dr. Matthew Sherritt, who's my husband and co-founder of Situated Research, also publishes all the time. So we stay up to date. Because we are publishing, we have to stay up to date on the materials, any other publications that are coming out on the subject matters that we speak about and that we teach and that we also perform services for with our company. We conduct tons of webinars. So actually this webinar today and tomorrow is the last webinar on our webinar schedule. The webinar schedule will be updated over the weekend. So it'll be updated for the next month's schedule. So definitely check that out. We do have over 50 clients who come to us for SEO optimization help. And we formed Situated Research in the fall of 2008. So let me go ahead and tell you just a little bit more about our company. When you signed up for today's session, you should have been redirected to our website. And so there you could read about our company, how we started, learn more about our team, and our offerings. Situated Research is a firm that is new. We started in the fall of '08, right when the economy tanked, and we made it through the recession. We're still making it through. We're profiting. We've done very, very well. And the reason for that is because of the types of services that we offer. They're all services that people need. Our primary goal here at Situated Research is to conduct usability research and testing. So what we care about, our focus is the user experience. So whether that be a website, a software, a product, or a video game, we help to enhance that user experience. And we're the only ones in the world who do what we do. There are other usability testing and research firms out there, but the techniques that we use based off of Dr. Sherritt's dissertation work are unique to us only. So you definitely, if you have a website or a software or product or video game, contact us. We're also huge on social media. The reason why we're so huge on social media and why I do these webinars, and we have a whole social media webinar series and a course and it goes on, is because that's what we base our company off of. Our company here at Situated Research started on social media. So broadcasting what we offer, telling people more about our company, networking on social media sites. 85% of our business comes from social media. And we've been very profitable during the recession because of social media. So we have the experience, we have the knowledge, we've helped tons of companies to enhance their companies as well using social media and selling their products or services. So definitely if you're interested in that, contact us. Of course, we are all into SEO optimization because we do design websites. We do optimize sites. And we do user testing on websites to make those websites more user-friendly. So definitely more involved with that. And if you want to learn more about our company and you weren't redirected, you can visit our website at www.situatedresearch.com. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. So let's go ahead and get right into the webinar. It's the Advanced SEO Strategies course, in case you didn't know. Some SEO basics. SEO is actually an acronym for Search Engine Optimization or Search Engine Optimizer. Basically, you want to be ranked highly in the natural search results, especially Google, since they have 70 to 80% of the search market. Think about what search engine you use to browse the internet. Most of the time it's Google. Bing is getting up there. It's gaining more popularity, but Google's at the top. Let's talk about real quickly, and we just scratched the surface on this last week, about what is SEM or search engine marketing. And search engine marketing is huge with SEO because it's the act of promoting your content. It's the overall activity around using search engines to market a site or online entity. It includes SEO, so organic SEO, and it also includes pay-per-clicks or PPCs. So if you attended last week's webinar, we are at the beginning here kind of going over a summary of what we discussed last week, just so if people didn't attend last week's webinar, they can kind of get a feel. And also the first question I asked at the beginning is, do you know what SEO is? And so some people attending today don't know and didn't attend last week, so that's why we're doing this, if you're wondering. So let's talk about organic SEO versus SEM or PPC, pay-per-clicks. So when you do a Google search, we did a Google search for Alaskan cruises. We want to take a cruise to Alaska, so I did a search. I, of course, use Google because that's what I use. And the way the screen's divided, you can see these colored sections. And so SEO is the organic search results that are going to come up by the keywords that I typed into the search. So you can see that in purple it says SEO. So these are actually where most users click. I would say about 85% of users click here. And that's usability research that we've done, the Nielsen Norman Group's done, a lot of usability companies have done, so it's a known fact. The top portion is search engine marketing. And so those are ads that people paid to put up, so you can definitely click on those. Those are sponsored links, but I will tell you that less than 10% of the people click on those. And then, of course, there's pay-per-clicks on the right-hand side. And pay-per-clicks are really like Google AdWords. Sometimes you'll get, I just got my website magazine yesterday, and in there was a $75 coupon to use on Google AdWords. And so if you're not familiar with what that is, go ahead and look it up. But Google AdWords, basically, you run a campaign for a certain amount of days. You tell them how much money you want to spend. You put a cap on it. You put in your credit card. If you have a credit, you put that in. And then people basically, anytime anyone clicks on those pay-per-clicks, you get charged. And so we're going to kind of go through the pros and cons of each of those. Right now, what we're going to do, because I just ended with pay-per-clicks, is we're going to start with the right-hand side here with SEM and pay-per-clicks. So the pros to those are that it's an excellent way at creating awareness quickly to your company or your product or your service. Campaigns can be budgeted to fit a business's needs. But the cons to this is that it can be pricey, anywhere from $25 to $100,000 a month, some companies have spent. And you put in your credit card. So once you reach that threshold where you've said, you know what, no more, you get an email the next day. So any clicks between then and now, you're getting charged for on your credit card. And that could be a lot because there's something called click fraud, where people know that those ads on the right-hand side, the pay-per-clicks, if you click on them, someone's getting charged. So some people think it's funny. Hackers think it's funny. Children now know that someone's going to get charged, and they think it's funny. So that's click fraud, and so you can get charged a lot. And the return on investment is very difficult to manage. Google AdWords doesn't really make it manageable for you. It doesn't tell you who's clicking on your ads. It doesn't tell you the conversion rate to your website. It doesn't tell you any of that information. And it has to be managed constantly. This is daily, weekly, but I would do it daily because of the scenario I just gave. You give them a threshold, say $500, and you reach that threshold, but you don't get an email till the next day. And so between that time that you reached your threshold till the next day when you receive that email and actually stop the campaign, you're getting charged for any clicks. So those are the pros and cons with SEM and PPC. Now with organic SEO, the pros are that it's free, not including resources. So if you were to come to Situated Research, of course, it's not going to be free. We're going to charge you for SEO optimization. But if you do it on your own, it is free. Searchers click on organic search results more often than paid-per-click links. So that's something that we've already mentioned. But the cons are that organic SEO is very time-consuming, and it does take longer to see results. It can take anywhere from a month to 6 months. Now, last week, we briefly scratched the surface on black hat and white hat SEO. And the reason why I added this to today's webinar is because so many people aren't sure the difference. If you're thinking that white hat's good, black hat's bad, you're in the right direction. White hat SEO, it follows search engine guidelines. It strives for best possible search engine rankings. And the #1 ranking does take several months because you are doing it by the books. You are going by the guidelines of the search engines. Now, some companies will do black hat SEO. Situated Research will not, but some companies will, and maybe you want to go that route. But you may not want to end up in the news, as some companies have in the last couple of months, where Google is suing them for performing black hat SEO. So I just want you to know the difference so that you can recognize it if you do hire an SEO company. So black hat SEO knowingly breaks many or most of the search engine guidelines. It misrepresents the content via different sneaky techniques, and it uses techniques to trick either the search engine, the searcher, or both, usually both. And these companies promise #1 ranking, or they guarantee it. No one, and let me repeat to you right now, and I want anyone to challenge me, no one can guarantee page 1 ranking. They may speak it to you, they may have it on their website, but when you get that contract, nowhere in there is the word guarantee because they can't. Search engines like Google change their mathematical algorithm for how they're going to rank your page daily now. It used to be monthly, then it was weekly, now it's daily. So no one has a clue as to how they are going to index your website. We know bits and pieces, and we know how to optimize your website to get you on page 1 of the rankings, but to do that organically, and that will take time. What it boils down to is relevancy. The overall goal for the search engines as a business owner is you want them to deliver the most relevant search results possible, and you want your site to come up. For searchers, you want them to find the most relevant search results. And you as a site owner want to optimize your site and its content for the most relevant searcher. So why do you want to invest in higher rankings? This photo here at the bottom is an eye tracking system that was used to see how people click and what they look at when they do a search. And so you can see that this searcher, we didn't tell them what web browser to use, what search engine to use. We said look up anything. And so they did a search. They used Google. And as you can see, the dark red, orange, yellow, blue, that's where their eyes were concentrated. They kind of glanced over at the pay-per-clicks, but they didn't click on it. They kind of glanced at the top just to make sure that what they typed in was correct, no spelling errors, so that their search results would be accurate. But their concentration was on the organic SEO. So just kind of reiterating what we've already talked about. 60% of the listings in the #1 position will get a click. Natural search results receive 250% more clicks than paid search. And natural searches convert to 30% better than paid searches. Plus, these clicks are free. So how does all this work? There's a magic 3-step formula here. You want to make sure that you have good, unique content within your website. Then you want to optimize each page that you want to rank. Now, you may not want every page on your website ranked. Right now, we're doing Forbes.com's website, and they have over 20,000 pages. They actually, I think it's about 35,000. Anyway, it's a lot of pages, and so they don't want every page optimized. So that may be the case with larger websites. So really, an SEO company would be able to tell you what pages to optimize and which ones not to. And you want to get quality inbound links to those pages. So let's start with #1. What makes good content? You want to build pages around your keywords. So last week we talked about keywords, we talked about page titles, and we talked about page descriptions. So with keywords, you want to make sure that the keywords that you put into your website, into the coding behind each page of your site, are good. That you're building your content around those good keywords that you did your searches on, that you did your research on, that you checked your competitors to see what they were using. You want to add real value to the web visitor. You want to make sure that the content is unique, informative, and sometimes entertaining as well, because you want them to stay on your website. So who do you link to? Good neighbors, because it's your reputation on the line. #2, what is proper on-page optimization? This is in the order of importance. #1 is links to internal and external links. #2 is the freshness of content and keyword usage. 3 is title tags. 4 is alt text for your photos. 5 is your H1, H2, H3 tags, but H1's the most important. Those are your header tags, which we're going to go through in just a moment. And #6 is your bold and italics of your keywords. They seem to matter, but they're minor. So this is a clip that we took from our homepage. And so you can see #1 is our link to our homepage. If you click on our company logo, you're always brought back to our homepage. That's good SEO. So make sure that your website, if you click on your company logo, anywhere on the site, on any page, you get back to your homepage. #2 is content. So the content on our homepage isn't that much, but you can see our content, and there is some content there that does use our keywords that we have implemented within the homepage of the site. #3 is our title tag up at the top. You want to make sure that your title tag is SEO optimized. It contains the keywords. It contains the words that are on the page that they're on. Number 4 is alt text. So any photos that you have, you want to make sure, remember, search engines don't index or recognize photos or flash or video. So you have to put some sort of text because it only sucks up content. So we have our alt text here. 5 is our H1 tag. So our first heading on the page is our H1 tag, which is very, very important. It's in bold and it's labeled in the coding as our H1 tag. And 6, we have bold text containing keywords from the home page. So what don't you want to do? You do not want to try to fool the search engines because your website just won't get indexed at all. You don't want to do keyword stuffing, and what we mean by that is stuffing the content of the pages with every other word being a keyword just to get SEO optimized. We talked about this last week. Your users who come to your site can read through the lines. They know what you're up to if every other word is a keyword. It's bolded, it's hyperlinked, whatever. People know. And so if the content isn't relevant to your users, then it's not of any value to them, and they're going to leave your website. Number 3 is the biggest factor is inbound links, so getting people to link back to you. Now, before we get into this, last week I talked about link building and how I get tons of emails every day wanting to do link swaps or linking campaigns. And basically what that means is that a company comes to us and they say, you know what, we'll put your website URL, your link, your web address on our website, and you do the same for us. Well, that's all fine and dandy if they're relevant to our industry. If they're a company, yesterday I had a carpet company email me and say, let's do a link building campaign. And I said, what does your company have anything to do with our company? Well, nothing. I said, well, then that's not relevant to us. What's your ranking on Google? Oh, we're page like 12 or 13. I'm like, that's not going to help us. And it's not going to help you. So we're not doing this with you. So you only want to do it with trusted sites. You only want to do it with companies who are relevant to your industry, who you actually would trade services with. Otherwise, there's no point to doing it. Getting your website URL on just a bunch of websites isn't anything. That, if anything, is going to hurt your SEO ranking, so don't do it. You want, again, best links, trusted sites. Have proper anchor text. Have varied anchor text. And are from many different domains, not just the same one. We are not too worried with relevancy, reciprocalization here, or page ranking. So how do you get these inbound links? We have a whole webinar on our recording page about inbound linking and how to do this. So if you want to know specifically how to do it, what steps to take, definitely watch that webinar. But just real briefly, internal links from content, friends and family, associations, social profiles, clients and suppliers, directories, articles, blogs and forum participation, and sending emails to webmasters asking for a link building campaign with a company that's relevant to yours where you can both help each other and benefit each other. Now, some advanced linking strategies is look at your competition's backlinks. And you could do this at SEO Moz Linkscape or Yahoo Site Explorer. Promote your content. But before you promote your content, make sure it's link worthy. Now, let's talk about keywords. We talked about keywords last week, but we're going to get into a little bit more detail today. Keywords are really the core of search engine optimization. Keywords are the terms used by searchers to find information. These are the words that they're going to type into a browser window in order to bring up your site. The goal is to leverage and implement the same keywords throughout your content in a natural manner to match the audience who's searching for your information and you are looking to attract. So don't go overboard. Don't do keyword stuffing. Just put a few keywords in the content of each page. Keyword discovery and analysis is never ending. So you want to make sure that you're up to date and doing this research every 6 months, we would say. Know your keywords. If you're not the business owner, ask the business owner. What do you think our keywords are? Ask the customers. Say, what do you search for that brings up our website? Or what keywords are you putting in that you would want to see our website come up on? Get customer feedback. Check the current server logs or analytics tools, and check the site search logs. This is more advanced. We talked about this last week just a little bit, but you want to make sure that you're doing this. Check your competitors' keywords. Look at the words in the title tag browser bar. View the source to view their meta keywords. And use tools to harvest the keywords or phrases prominent on their site. Now again, to view the source of their keywords, their page titles or their page descriptions, last week we gave a little trick that you can do. What you want to do on any website that you go to, you can always right-click on the page that you're on and then click View Page Source. And what that's going to do is bring up the coding of the page that you're on. So it's going to look something like this. So when you go to our home page and you right-click on the page and you click View Page Source, the coding that makes up that page comes up. So this is the coding. Now you're like, oh my God, this is overwhelming. Well, this is the advanced SEO. We did go over this last week, but I broke it down for everybody. So I'll break it down again just in case you're not as advanced as I'm thinking. This is all the coding behind our home page. And all we care about is the title, the keywords, and the description. So these 3 lines. These 3 lines should be on every page of your site. So if you want to be methodical about it and you don't have an IT team or a webmaster and you want to check out your website, last week I said just check out, randomly click on 3 pages of your site and view the page source by right-clicking. But since this is the advanced SEO class, I want you to do it for every page of your site. Okay? Do it for every page. If you have a large site, we have a couple hundred pages, then of course just do 3 at random. But if you have about 12 to 20, please do every page. This is what you're looking for, and I don't have a slide on this, so make sure that you're writing this down. Number 1, you want to make sure that you have those 3 lines of code on every page of your site. So title, keywords, description. Let's talk about title first. In the title, you want to make sure that it's short. You want to make sure that it's an actual title. You want to make sure that it's less than 50 characters. That includes spaces, any kind of symbols, anything. You also want to make sure that it contains some keywords, not all for that page, but a few. We say 2 to 3. Now that's the page title. For keywords, you want to make sure that you have no more than 10 keywords. If you have between 10 to 15, you're fine, but you may want to limit it. Now, those keywords you have to do your research on, okay? And in last week's webinar, we went through that research. Since this is the advanced course, you should know what research that entails. If you don't, contact us. We'll help you with that. But again, no more than 10. If you have 10 to 15, no worries, but you don't want to go over 15. Make sure that the keywords for every page of your website are not the same. We run into this all the time. People say, oh yeah, I have the keywords on every page. And then we look, and they're the same keywords for every page. Every page needs to be unique. Every page of your website does not contain the same content, does it? Then it shouldn't contain the same keywords. So it needs to be optimized for each page. And those keywords need to appear somewhere within the content of the page. Now remember, don't do keyword stuffing. Just put in 3 to 5 keywords within the content of the page that makes sense to the user. Now, the third line is the page description. The page description needs to be on every page of the website as well. However, the page description should not be the same for every page. Just like the content's not the same for every page, neither should the page description. The page description should be a sentence containing no more than 70 characters. The page description should be a sentence that is within the content of that page. And the description should contain at least 3 to 4 keywords for that particular page. So it's a lot to suck in and kind of go over, but hopefully we just laid that out for you. So if you have questions about that, we can go over that with you on a one-on-one basis. So you're saying which keywords to use. It really depends on the context and theme of your pages and the audience that you're targeting. You want to use keywords that are being searched on, that have medium to low competition, that you can build quality content that site visitors will appreciate and know that you're not just trying to raise your SEO ranking. Keywords that will aid the search engines in understanding your content and aid the users and persuade them to act, to do something, a call to action. Now let's talk real briefly about how search engines obtain content. Search engines send bots or spiders or whatever you want to call them around your website. When you first build your website, they do it once for you. Only if your webmaster, whoever built your site, submits your site to the search engines to be indexed. If they don't do this, your site won't be indexed. So definitely want to make sure that that was done. But they send out bots, spiders to your website, and they crawl around your website. They crawl around via hyperlinks. They crawl around the code of your site. It's kind of like Pac Man. Think of this as a metaphor. Pac Man comes along, so he's the bot or the spider or whatever. He's the search engine. He's sucking up the content of the pages. He's sucking up the theme of the page, the links, the hyperlinks, the metadata, the page titles, the page descriptions, and the keywords, and then putting all of that information into a database. So that way, when people search for certain keywords, your website comes up. When they search for certain content, your website comes up. So what happens when a search engine bot visits your website? First, it's going to check for the robots.txt file for any instructions. Last week we kind of touched on this, but since this is the advanced course, robots.txt file are instructions for the robot, telling them specifically how to search and index your page. Second, it's going to begin to crawl. It's going to follow links in your site from the current page, and it's also going to pay attention to any page-level robot instructions that are on other pages. It's going to grab the content and metadata, the title, the description, the link labels, the text, etc. And it's going to add it to its index so you're searchable. Now, this is all fine and dandy. They do it once, hopefully your webmaster submitted your website to the search engine, so they did it at least once, but your ultimate goal is to have them come to your website as much as they can. The only way to do that is to keep your content fresh. Keep changing it up. Making sure your website is search engine optimized, and getting a lot of inbound links to your website, getting a lot of valued visitors to your site, relevant visitors. Any search engine crawling issues that might come up are avoid using Flash. Flash is any sort of animation, any movement on your page, any avatars that come up and start speaking to your users right away on your site. Search engines can't crawl those. Search engines will not index anything using Flash. It's a waste of space, and Flash really is late 1990s. I'm sorry, early 1990s. Flash is really being done away with, and it's distracting to users when they come to your site. It's just poor web design. I'll just come right out and say it. Users that we've tested and that other usability companies have tested and that the Nielsen Norman Group has tested, they don't look at Flash. Flashy banners or anything flashing across the screen at them while they're trying to read content takes away from the experience. It takes away from the content. It's distracting. Especially sites that you go to where someone starts speaking to you right away or a video starts playing, people just try to click it off right away because it's not why they came to the site. So it's a waste of space. It's a waste of time. If you have Flash, please get rid of it. Photos are great to have on your site. However, make sure that you have alt text or alt tags. because search engines will not index photos. They can't read photos. They can only read content. So some tips. You want to obtain links to your site from authoritative sources. Then your website will get crawled and indexed organically more often. You want to submit your websites to the major search engines, Google, Bing, and MSN. And you want to monitor your indexed pages. Now, let's talk about sitemaps. Sitemaps are a hierarchy of the content on your website. So it's basically an outline of your website by page title. It lists the pages of a website by topic using keywords. So all keywords should be embedded within content on that particular page, otherwise it will not be indexed by search engines. So this photo that you see here in the bottom right-hand corner is, here in the website industry, we call that a sitemap hierarchy. So it's a visualization that we give to our clients so they can see the hierarchy or the sitemap that will be made for their site. So it's just the pages of their site. It's the home page. Branched off of there is the about page, portfolio page, a contact page, and then some sub-menus. So they can visually see how their website's going to be laid out. Sitemaps are great. It helps with SEO. So if you register your sitemap with search engines, your ranking is going to go higher faster. It organizes your website in the development stages, so when you're making your website, it really helps out big time. It offers a help option to your users as well who might get lost on your website, no matter how big or small your site is. Many users now know that they can simply click on your sitemap and put in their topic and be brought to the particular page that they want to go to instead of searching through your website, especially if you have a larger website. And it's a web and usability industry standard. So check your website. At the very bottom of every page should be a hyperlinked word that says sitemap. And you should be able to click on it, and it gives you a hierarchy or an outline of the pages of your site. So let's talk about some other key factors. Domain and site optimization is huge. The age of your website is very important. So what we mean by that is, how much time did you take out on your domain? When you purchased your domain, did you purchase that domain for 2 to 5 years? Or are you just purchasing a year at a time? If you're purchasing just a year at a time, search engines look at that and they say, whoa, these people don't have confidence in their company. They're not going to be around for a long time. They're not profitable. We're not indexing their site. If you purchase more than 2 years at a time, they think, whoa, this site's important. These people care about it. We're going to go ahead and index it more often. So if you want to know the age of your site, you can go to your hosting company and figure that out, or you can go to a site called websitegrader.com. Websitegrader.com is sponsored through a company called HubSpot. And HubSpot is great about giving you information on SEO and how to improve your site. So definitely go to websitegrader.com. It'll give you information on your page titles, your page descriptions, your keywords that you're using. It'll show you right away if those are the same for every page because it randomly chooses 3 pages from your site. So it does that for you. It also gives you the age of your site. And the age of your site, if you purchase more than 2 years, you're building prominence and credentials. Inbound linking popularity into your site as well. The frequency of inbound links is going to be more. And the number of inquiries over time where your site appears in results will be more. Keywords must be in your domain and keywords in your folder structure as well. Now, a question that I got last week was that, what do you think about keyword campaigns with your domain? Putting as many keywords as you can within your domain. And I answered this question to them and I said, look, you want your domain to be short and sweet. This is what people are going to remember your company by. They're going to type it in. Ours is situatedresearch.com. If we had anything other than that, if we had something like Situated Research Web Design Company, okay, people might remember that. They might type it in, but it's not relevant. It should be situatedresearch.com, the name of our company, short and sweet. So that's how I answered that question for them. Page optimization. Again, the age of your website is important. The freshness of the content is important. How often do you change up your content? We're not saying change it up every week. We're not saying change it up every month, but refresh it every couple of months. The number of inbound and outbound quality links to each page is very, very important. And of course, the page theme. The content has to be focused on a single topic, including keywords, and be relevant to your users. Page titles. Use those keywords within the page and the page title, but don't go overboard. As you can see here, this is our page title for our home page. It says Situated Research, Web Design, Software, and Video Game Usability. Very short, sweet, contains 3 huge keywords, and that's our title. Short, sweet, to the point, contains some keywords. Remember your page meta descriptions. Meta tags are HTML code that are inserted into the header on a web page. Your page description is important. It should include keywords that are relevant to that page. It should include a sentence from the content of that page. It should be under 70 characters, as we talked about earlier. This is our page description for our home page. So it says Situated Research conducts usability testing and research on the user experience within software, games, websites, and educational technology. That sentence is within the home page of the content on that page. So we have that. We have keywords in there, and it's under 70 characters. Your page meta keywords. Keywords are chosen for a page. They should be located within the content of the page. Not all of them. Don't go overboard. The keywords also should be located within the description of the page, as we stated earlier. So these are the keywords for our home page. So we've got usability research, usability testing, UX, situated learning software, etc., etc. So we have between 10 to 15. We're under the limit. We have good keywords for our homepage, and they're not the same for every page of our site. And something I didn't mention earlier about the titles for each page, those also should not be the same for every page of your site. The page titles need to be different because that's the first thing that search engines look at is the page title. And if they're the same for every page, your keywords are the same for every page, your page descriptions are the same for every page, your website's not going to get indexed. Content is everything visible in a web browser. Keyword prominence is where on the page do the keywords appear. This is important as well when you get to content writing. Your main keyword should be at the beginning of the content. Supporting keywords should be throughout the middle. And then the primary repeated again near the end of the content. But don't go overboard. You don't have to use all the keywords for each page. Again, use between 3 to 5 is a good number. Keyword density. How often do the keywords appear in relation to all other pages on the page, or all other words on the page? Keyword frequency, the number of occurrences on the page. Again, don't go overboard. Search engines also look at content around the keywords. They check for theme relevancy. They want to make sure that you're not just trying to do some SEO scam, some black hat SEO going on there. You want to make sure that that's not happening. Now, a topic that we added to today's webinar was the future of mobile search and SEO, because I've had a lot of clients recently want their website to be mobile, so to show up on a mobile device like an iPhone, an Android, or an iPad. And so they want a separate website made for those devices, and so those need to be optimized as well. Just a real quick tip here, you don't need a separate site for mobile devices. You can have your current site look and feel and work the same way on mobile devices. So that's a misconception that a lot of people are coming to us all of a sudden now. They're wanting apps, they're wanting mobile sites, and so that's a misconception. So I just wanted to put that out there for you. Mobile search, this is from the Nielsen company, the Nielsen Norman Group, and it's showing more and more people are using mobile devices to do internet searches. So the upcoming trends in mobile is that there's going to be a lot more queries using mobile devices. More people are on the go. They love the fact that they can just go to their phone or their iPad and do a search whenever they want. Apps are going to be more prominent. So definitely, if you're thinking about that, here at Situated Research, we do make apps, so definitely inquire about that. There's little need for a separate mobile site, as I just stated. And the strong need for a separate mobile ad strategy is very important. and geography does matter. So the SEO life cycle kind of looks like this. You have your content. You do your research, your keyword, your content, your links. You do your link building and your optimization. So it kind of is always in a circle, and you're always doing this. I would say every 4 to 6 months. Now, something that we said we touch upon today was multimedia optimization. So what do you do if you have videos in your website? First of all, you want to post your video content on your site first if you can. And you want to provide an embedded code within Vimeo. Vimeo is just kind of like YouTube. It helps to build backlinks. You want to optimize your content surrounding your video as well. You want to develop a strong YouTube account. So on YouTube, you can actually have your company build a channel where all of your videos are on there. So you definitely want to make sure that you have a strong connection, a lot of people linking back to you. You want to find out who else has embedded your video. These are sites who maybe are interested in sharing more of your content. And again, if you have photos within your website, get that alt text done, because search engines will not index your site if you have photos that do not have alt text. So make sure that you're doing that. Remember, search engines can't crawl photos or videos or images, only text. Some SEO services that are out there are keyword search, so companies will actually do the research for you. SEO copywriting, so writing the content for your website so it's SEO optimized. Website optimization, link building, and competitive SEO analysis. What's also important is social media marketing. So there's social media marketing strategies out there and content creation for the social media outlets. So in summary, you want to perform detailed keyword analysis. You want to make sure your site's crawlable. You want to use web standards to create clean, light pages. Implement those keywords. Get that link building done. Remember, we have that separate webinar in our series that you can go ahead and connect to at any time. You also want to design and implement with the user first, then the search engine. You always want to do an audit on your initial SEO campaign. So you want to ensure that all the initial SEO recommendations have been completed. Does your site have the wanted keywords found within the page titles? As your content has changed, does it include the keywords and related keyword variations more commonly typed by search engine users? Are HTML element changes complete? H1, H2, H3 tags, image titles, ordered lists, bolder, emphasized content, etc. Do your pages all contain page-level meta descriptions that are unique and relevant to the page's content that they're on? Did you decide to update your meta keywords? Hopefully you did. Google does not account for the meta keywords tag to rank sites anymore, though other search engines may take this into account. So you always want to make sure that you have good keywords. You've done your keyword research. I know a lot of questions we're going to get. We got them last week saying, I thought Google wasn't looking at keywords anymore to rank sites. They're really not, but other search engines are. And having good keywords helps you to stay at the top of your game, helps you stay ahead of your competitors, helps to keep your content fresh. And have you submit a sitemap to the search engines to help ensure it knows all your website's content. Basically what SEO boils down to is how popular is your website? How many people are visiting your website? Relevant visitors, not just anyone. How many people are linking back to your site because they feel that it's so important to do so? The more popular you can make your site, the higher your page ranking will be, and you'll get on the search engines. Now, before we get into questions and leave you with our contact information, I want to offer you this SEO package that we offered last week. We're also going to offer it to you folks. Our SEO package, it's our advanced SEO package, and what it includes is that we actually come up with the titles for all the pages of your website. We do all of the keyword research for you. We place the keywords significant to each page within the code. Or if you have a webmaster or a web team that does your programming, We can come up with a plan, put all of that into a package for you, into a presentation, into an actual folder so that you have that, and we'll hand that to your team to implement. We will place page descriptions on each page, or again, if you have a team, we'll put that in the plan. And we'll submit your website to all the major search engines. Now, this package is anywhere between $1,500 to $2,500 to do. Really depends on the size of your website. So I wanted to give you that range so you would know. If you have more than 50 pages, of course, it's going to be more. If your website wasn't programmed correctly and you don't have a programmer on staff and we would be doing that for you, it's going to be more. But the range, it won't be more than $2,500. If you're interested, email us because we need to look at how your website was coded. If you have a webmaster, we can put together a plan for them to implement for only $1,200. This takes 1 week to complete. And if you don't have a sitemap, or you want a sitemap, or you want to submit it to the search engines, we can do that also for you for $500. Normally it's $1,200. If you're interested in any of this, email us at info@situateresearch.com and say you attended this webinar. Otherwise, the price is normally $4,200 for advanced SEO package. So definitely make sure that you email us and say I attended. If you have friends or know other business owners who would benefit from this package, tell them about it. Give them your name and say make sure you said so-and-so attended the webinar. We'll also extend this price to them. So now we're going to get into questions. So definitely if you haven't written your questions in your upper right-hand corner in your questions box, please do so now. What we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go through our contact information, and then we'll go ahead and go to questions. And right now I don't see any questions, so definitely type those in. Let's go through the contact information here. Again, our company is called Situate Research, and you can visit our website at www.situateresearch.com. You can also visit us on Twitter, and you can become a fan on our Facebook fan page at the link listed there, or you can just go to Facebook and type in Situate Research and we'll pop up. Become a fan. We're trying to raise our fan base. We have 190 people so far since we've started. We want to raise that to a couple thousand by the end of the year. So definitely become a fan. We advertise upcoming webinars on there, discounts, packages, any promotions, any information that we find in the Wall Street Journal. We share all of that information with you. Definitely check out the upcoming webinar schedule. That will be up over the weekend, so check on Monday for the next month. And email us at info@situateresearch.com if you have any questions about today's session, you have any questions about SEO. You attended our webinar today, so I definitely want to make sure that your questions are answered. So definitely do that. And then, if you want that SEO package, then definitely email me, and we'll go ahead and get that for you. So I just saw, I'm going to leave this up for the next 3 minutes we have. I just saw a question pop up, so let me go ahead and take a look at that. The question is a sitemap necessary when your website is only 7 pages? Yes, it is. As we said before, the benefits to having a sitemap are that it helps you to raise your SEO. Okay, so that sitemap gets submitted to the search engine, so your site gets indexed quickly and more often because you have a sitemap. Number 2, it's a web and usability industry standard. If users are on your website, even though you have 7 pages, you may have a lot of content on those 7 pages, or you may not have enough content at all. And someone's searching around your site and they can't find the information that they came there for. They can simply click on the sitemap, go by topic of each page, and figure out where to go instead of leaving your website altogether. 3, it helps you to organize your website. Even though, Alexa, you have 7 pages, we've built websites for pages that are for websites that have had 5 pages. It doesn't matter how big or small your site is. You want it to be optimized. So you want people to be able to click on it. So it's a web industry standard, it's a usability standard, and users are looking for it. If they get lost within your website, they're going to be looking for it. If they can't find it, they're just going to leave. Definitely, if you have pages where you're scrolling through a bunch of content, you definitely want to make sure you have a sitemap. So if you know, you have 7 pages, you don't have a sitemap right now, contact us. We're doing the special right now for $500, but we can definitely see if we can give you any other discounts because it is only 7 pages. So please do contact us. And let me see if there are any other questions. Okay, I don't see any other questions. So I do see a lot of comments saying that this webinar is very helpful, thanking me and saying that was very good, so that's good. We have hit 3 o'clock here in Chicago, so we're going to go ahead and close up the webinar. Again, contact us. Go to our website, situateresearch.com. And if you're interested in that package or anything else that we talked about or you have more questions, email us at info@situateresearch.com. Again, I want to thank you for attending today, and I hope that you have a wonderful afternoon.